Hi, it's Liz Rossell of C-Level Social, and welcome to our Canva demo. If you know me, if you know C-Level Social, we are a huge fan of Canva. I have taught many classes on it at state and national SNA events, and it's literally, I've heard the terms life-changing thrown around. So I want to tell you a couple of quick things about it and then show you how to create some actual flyers and graphics for your program and help you feed more kids. So Canva, Canva.com. There is a free version, and I will be honest with you, almost everything you need is fine on the free version. Do not feel like you need to worry about spending money on the pro version, especially when you get started out. The pro version is really helpful for people like us that have multiple clients and we're managing multiple branding kits and things. But for what you need, the free version is more than enough. So I will go ahead and log in. I actually personally used the free version for 5 years. And it did everything that I needed, and only recently launched up to the pro. So when you log into Canva, this is really what it looks like. There are so many templates, and that's where we're going to get started. I want you to start with just templates just to get used to the layout and to the system, and then you can start making your own designs from scratch. But here's where you'll also see your own designs. Actually created that one earlier when I was demoing. So let's delete those. See, I could quickly just move to trash and now they're gone. Here's all of the designs that I've created so far. Our Meet the Team posts for Dothan City Schools are extremely popular. If you're promoting on social media, do Meet the Team posts, and I'll actually show you this template. Do those, and I guarantee you we're getting lots of likes and comments and shares. The Cup of Joe worksheets are created on here so much. So what you're going to see is templates, and then you can also create a design completely from scratch. What I love about Canva is it has the right dimensions for everything. A Facebook post, it'll give you the proper dimensions that will look good on Facebook. An Instagram story. If you're familiar with Instagram, you know that's on a phone and it's long and narrow. A flyer. Our clients at Sarasota County Schools, huge fans of flyers. And if you're a manager or you're an employee at a school and you want to make flyers for your cafeteria, you're going to love this, okay? So this is where you can create. You can also do your own custom dimensions. So if you know either pixels, which is like an image, that's the weight, the size, the width and height, or inches. If you know you want like an 8x10, whatever, you can do custom, but honestly, we're going to play around with these templates and get you used to Canva, okay? And there's where you can see all your designs. Okay, so let's do a flyer, since I said that Sarasota loves their flyers so much. So if I click on flyer, this is my canvas that I'm going to work in. Everything that I'm creating is right here. They're going to immediately show you some amazing templates, and that's where I want you to play around and get started, okay? Let's scroll through here. Let's see if there's some food templates. So I'll just search food. Now I will say there is a lot of stock photography in here that you can use, but do not ever use photos of food that does not look like what you're serving in your cafeteria, because you have to be upfront with your audience and show them actual food. You can most certainly upload your own photos and use those in Canva. That's what we do. So I'll show you how to do that. But let's do, this is actually kind of cute. It's kind of got a food truck look to it, and we have summer feeding coming up. So if I click on that template, there we go. We've got this food truck graphic. We've got this text here, and it all populated. All I did was click and it populated right over here. So when you first get started with Canva, this is my tip to you. Create something like this, just swap out and play around with text and colors, okay? So if we want to change this food drive at Beachtown Park to summer feeding begins June 1st. What I love about Canva, if you're familiar with Photoshop, I find Photoshop to be very overwhelming because there's so many editing tools and I never know where to find what I need. This is what I love about Canva. Keep your eye on this white bar right here. And if I click on text, here are my text editing options. I can change the font to whatever the font I want, the size, make it bigger, smaller. I can change the color. So there's a color wheel right here. You can make it whatever color you want. And we'll talk about branding and having your own color scheme. That's for another video. This is just a brief intro. But if you start doing this, you always want to use the exact same colors that match either your district or your department logo or your school. You want to build your brand, okay? Always use the same colors. There's a few exceptions to that rule, like 4th of July. They're going to use red, white, and blue, of course. But for the most part, you always want to use your same colors, okay? So this is where you can play around with the colors. If it's possible to do bold or italics with that font, that would be here as well, okay? So I've got all of this, summer feeding. I can change. Now let me zoom in here a little bit. I can zoom in. See how I did that? I zoomed in 100%. So I could say, you know, visit one of our serving sites. I could, and if you put a lot of info on your Facebook page, let's say follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/ Dothan is Dothan CNP for Child Nutrition Program. Okay, so you just swap out the colors, swap out the text. I'll zoom out a little bit to see more of this. You could take this image, you can move it all around, you could move it down here more to see more of these. But that's where I want you to kind of just live and play around with. There's click and drag. You can make these bigger or smaller. Now you've got more food trucks. I know some people use food trucks. You've got all of this text that was already in the template. You can ungroup it, and then you can manage each of these individually. So if I click on this, I can move it individually. Before they were all grouped together. You could delete it if that's too much text and you don't want that much. Let's say this at the bottom is unnecessary. Click on that and delete. Another quick way to make your text bigger or smaller or the right size, click and drag. Just click and drag it. Two things I want to show you here while we're looking at these templates. Watch as I try to center this. Look at that line that just created right down the middle. Okay, so that will help you center your text. Okay, make sure you're centered. Now, if you wanted, let's just say, I'll zoom out a tiny bit. Let's say I wanted all of this centered right down the middle. Watch this. Did you see that there was a line that came across horizontally? So now everything is centered right in the middle. Okay, so those are just a couple of little tricks here. That was using a template. We swapped out our colors. We did what we wanted here. And then when I'm done, I just click this little caret right here, download, and this was a flyer, so the default format is a PDF. I'm going to download it as a PDF, and I'll be able to email that to managers, to my teammates, and say, print this and put it at your schools, whatever you'd like to do with it. If you're going to save it as an image so that you can put it on social media, then you want to do a PNG. That's a high quality image. So you would just click PNG, download it, and now you've got something that you can put on your Facebook. Okay? I will say that one benefit of a pro account is this was a flyer, right? This is a flyer. Let's say I wanted to put it on Twitter. If I put this image that's more of like a flyer and I tried to put it on Twitter, the size would not look very good. Twitter likes more of a horizontal image. So this is one benefit to the pro. You resize and you choose Twitter and then copy and resize, it copies it, creates a whole new image, and look, now it's wide. That size image looks much better on Twitter than that. So have you ever seen people post things and the image looks a little wonky? That's why they created it for a different platform. Okay, so now that I had this is what I would do. I would say, okay, look how I click and drag and I selected the text. I'll put my text over there. I'm going to put my image here. Well, let's make all this a little bigger. We'll click and drag and select all of it, and we'll do this and make it all bigger. Okay? So I want you to play around with a template because you're just getting used to Canva. Everything is click and drag. And look, watch this. I just centered it perfectly. That's it, you know, and that was a quick example. I would, you know, I think probably I don't know that I might say like summer feeding. If I was going to actually publish this, I might say, come see us. Summer feeding begins June 1st. Visit one of our serving sites. Follow us on Dothan. I might make that a little smaller so it's about, see how that's like, I want it to be a similar width on either side. And I would make all of this probably a good size bigger. And here's a trick. Once I made it bigger, oh, let's see. Oh, I messed up my own thing. I can group it. I click group, and I can literally make it narrower. There we go. So if I was going to publish this, I might do that. And I'd probably make this bigger so it's more like a collage, and I'd just slide it over. Okay. And I would probably change out the fonts, but you see how easy that was. Now, when you download this, this is a high resolution graphic that you just created. It's something that, so it's just like something that a graphic designer would make. You know what I mean? It's the quality of it is going to be like, it's not going to be pixelated or not look good once you've uploaded it. Okay. All right. So we played around with a template. We made a flyer. Let's look at something that I've already created and then show you how you can make a copy and do some of that. Okay. Actually, Ariane Branch created this for us for the Meet the Team. So every week at Dothan City Schools, they do a Meet the Team post. So she comes in here. This is what Ariane does. This is last week's Meet the Team. So she clicks here, make a copy. She doesn't create a whole new image from scratch every time. Makes a copy, click on this. So now here's her image. And now she's going to swap out the photo, swap out the answers to these. We always ask the same 4 questions. Swap out the answers, swap out these cute little icons here because the icons complement the answers. Okay. So I'll give you an example here. So let's say I'm going to delete this picture. So I click on it and I click the little trash can is delete. So let's go over to our uploads. Where are my uploads? Uploads is where you can upload images from your own computer and then work with them in Canva. Love it. So let's say we're going to click this photo and we want to use this. Now there's a lot of space around her. So watch this. I can just click and drag and I can crop it. Look how easy that is. If you have someone on your team that's extremely creative and crafty, show them Canva, especially over these summer months. Somebody might want a creative outlet. Show them Canva and just let them play around. See what they come up with. So for this design, Dothan City Schools really loved the handwritten design element. So you'll see, I'll zoom in a little bit, the font is very it looks like handwritten. So that's why these lines look a little off. I chose lines that looked handwritten. They're not perfect, clean lines, okay? That's what we did for this Meet the Team series. So, okay. So all I could do is come in here and change how many years. Let's say that the favorite part of the job is cooking, okay? Let's say her favorite part of the job is cooking. Let's move that over. So I don't want to have pictures of 2 kids here. I want some food or cooking utensils. So I'm going to click it and delete. Oh, there were 2 little kiddos there. So let's come over here to elements. You're going to spend a lot of time in elements, okay? There are grids that are photo grids. So you can make photo collages. There are shapes that you can change the color to, make them different sizes. But what we'll do, there's lines. That's how I made these, or that's how I found these little lines. Okay. So we're going to search for cooking. Let's see what pops up. And when I created this, or I remember if Ariane, I created it, who did first, you'll see that because this looks handwritten, all of these little sketches also look handwritten. So we actually look for like an outline. I look for cooking outline and try to find something that's, these are all animated ones, which that's for Canva Advanced. You'll get there. Here's a couple of pots. Okay, so I wanted to find something that looked kind of hand-drawn. This looks hand-drawn, actually. That looks very so see how like that's a pot looks hand-drawn? I wouldn't want to put, for example, something like, let me find an example. like clean lines. Like I probably wouldn't put that in here. That is very, very thick lines for starters. It looks like a totally different design style. So I like this little handwritten pot. We'll put that there. And I always want to keep my things branded. So I'll change it to Dothan City's colors, which I've saved. And now I've got cooking and there's a little pot there. Kind of help go along with that, have some design elements, okay? So we did little apples next to each camera or next to each question. You can make those bigger or smaller. Again, see how those look handwritten? We stayed with that design element for sure, okay? So once you've created things like a template, if you've done, we do Wellness Wednesday for Dothan City Schools. We're starting a Throwback Thursday series because they got so many new followers recently. Well, they actually just launched just before COVID, but they've been getting more and more followers. And I went to Lindsay, their supervisor, and I said, there's so many amazing things that happened way before COVID that your audience has no idea happened in the cafeteria. Let's do a Throwback Thursday series. And so you send me some older photos and we'll post them as a TBT, Throwback Thursday. So we're going to make a frame in here that says TBT and we're going to use those photos. And so we'll make graphics for that. But once we create that original template, we're just copying and then we're swapping out things. We still give each graphic, the love and attention it deserves, but it just saves us some time and helps us create even more content for them. Okay, so again, now this is done. This was formatted to be a Facebook post. So when I download it, so I can publish it over to Facebook, I have a PNG and download and good to go. You can link it to your Facebook page if you want. I don't, because I like to tag, and the tags are sometimes a little funky when you use another system like this. I like to tag other pages, tag the other schools so that they see it. So I'd rather download it and then upload it fresh, okay? So let's play around just while we're here with some of these other things that you might find in here. Like I said, you can search pineapple, search for all kinds of things. Some of these are images that you can't really change the color. That pineapple is what it is. But some, let's see if this one does it. Nope. There are some, here you go. If you chose like this pineapple, if you see these up here, you can change the colors to it. So let's say like I was doing Sarasota County, they have this orange, these two green colors. So I would want it to be the green from Sarasota County from their logo. Okay. You can crop these if you want to crop them. Not that you would want to crop that beautiful pineapple. You can flip it horizontally or vertically. If you need it to be, let's say I wanted this behind her picture, you click position and do backwards. Whoops, let's put it back here. Let's say I wanted it behind her picture, position backwards, and watch it. It just went, it's going behind. There you go. Now it's behind her picture. You could move it all the way to the back or all the way to the front, and now it's covering her font or the text. The more you play with this, the better you're going to get at it. Again, play with the templates first. Just do the templates, swap out the text and the font, or the text and the colors. Text and colors, and then just play around from there. There are tons of text options. There's even some text templates. This is a template here. But if you want to just add text to something, you just click add a heading, bam, and then you're adding text. Once you've added text, make it bigger, smaller, however you want. You can tilt it on its side. Okay. The videos I won't get into, that's a little more advanced. That's something new that's happening. They also have backgrounds. There's like gradient, like a gradient's like that, where you can have things, kind of a color on the back. There are pictures, again, just, you don't want to show a gourmet, cheesecake or something, or some food that's not on your menu. So I do try to be aware. I usually will go to like the fresh fruits and vegetables because an apple's an apple. So I will use that, but otherwise I try to not use the stock photography in here. Uploads, if you want to upload your own image to work with, it is literally click upload and select your photo from your computer. All right, that is my quick demo of Canva. If you see if I didn't like that, I'm going to click undo. And there we go. Let's do all this undoing that I did to poor Ariane. She does all these series for us. She's going to be like, what did you do to my series? All right. So then, like I said, you download it. It downloads to your computer. You upload it to Facebook. You can share it with your team, insert it into email campaigns, whatever you would like. I hope that you found this helpful. Again, share with your team and see if someone might be interested in playing around with this graphic design tool. Could not be simpler. I'm not a graphic designer, but we churn out some really amazing stuff, and it's because Canva is so easy. And again, the free version is going to give you everything you need. Let me show you really quick. If you did look at Pineapple, let's see, Pineapple was something I looked at. If you hover over, see how it says Pro? That means I'm a Pro subscriber. That's the paid account. So that I can use for free. But if you look at free, here's all the free options that come up under Pineapple. So if you hover over it and you see free, or you hover over it and it says Pro, they used to have, I believe, where you could like pay $1 sometimes for something premium. You'd pay $1 and then make sure that design is exactly how you want it, because when you download it, you pay $1 and then that's it. You've got that image. But if you tried to download it again, it would charge you another $1. In the first 5 years I used Canva, I spent $1. No lie. So don't think that you have to worry about having a pro account right now. It's just create those free accounts, have fun, use your own pictures. And I hope that you found this helpful. And thank you so much for attending. For those that are watching that attended Brainstorming and Baking, thank you so much.